Tyler for Finding Sasquatch. Come to you again from northeastern Ontario. Special video, Day of the Sasquatch. I call the video that because it's the first good snow day of the year where there's enough snow to cover the grass and the ground. And whenever I go out, I always seem to get some kind of activity, or I get a picture or something. So kind of personal meaning there. The other thing when I mentioned going out is locations. I mean, people always trying to figure out my locations. Well, you know what? I go many different places. Sometimes I just get dropped off and I go hiking and I find them. There's a lot more Sasquatch than people think. But with that said, people are trying to figure out locations because they don't want to put in the groundwork going and finding them. They want a shortcut to where are they exactly and then go right there, and they don't want to have to do all the work like I do and other people do. But anyway, a special video, my 100th video. I have more than 100 videos, but I need them broken down, and I need to upgrade my computer equipment. Video card's too old to even upload videos. So in regard to researching location thing, location's like the third most important thing, as long as there's Sasquatch in a general area. The second most important thing is if the Sasquatch, could be the first one, but I'll just say second most important thing is the Sasquatch want to interact or give you anything, because they can be totally invisible and they got a lot of more abilities than what we thought 5 years ago when I started posting on YouTube. But I think the first most important thing is the researcher. First of all, you've seen Les Stroud walk right through a group of them and not know. Now, I like Les Stroud, but the key is the persistence of the researcher and the ability of the researcher, specifically knowing when there's Sasquatch around. And then with me, sometimes I can sense them or, connected or whatever. I get that creepy feeling, and instead of running away, I take out my camera and film or interact with them. So I've had for every video I post, I've had 4 other encounters. 2 maybe I've gotten some evidence of, and 2 that were just too fast to get anything, and they catch off guard. But anyway, Day of the Sasquatch, enjoy. Thanks for all your support over the years.
Right, so I don't normally do this, but here's the main road to some of the areas I go. With me, it's just a matter of finding a safe place to park and access. I mean, I'm going to track some down. I've got enough experience that I can detect when they're in the area, but I'll post this just so I'm not being a dork and keeping everything all secret. But anyway, good luck. Okay, so I'm just heading up to the trail. Might take a shortcut into it, just to avoid people in their houses watching people come and go, and then if they hear me doing anything in the woods, and that's that guy. But anyway, so it's just on the outskirts of our village.
this is a used trail, hiker trail, quadra trail, within walking distance of my house. Show you some of the woods. Beautiful snowy morning. And I've noticed over the years it's become less and less used. Get some dog walkers, quadras ripping it up. But I've been in here, and this could be the reason. I've gotten wood knocks in here, and this is within a kilometer of my house. I don't know what the actual distance is. I just come in here, hike, in between when I'm going out in the field. And I've had some wood knocks. I come across some structures. I got some really interesting pictures. I'll just do a little panning. You never know. And I love the challenge of trying to get footage evidence in the winter. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so let's head back towards an area where I found some structures. Again, this is in the neighboring woods around my little village, northeast Ontario. My kids have come in here when they were little to do some sleighing down this hill. Snowboarding, stuff like that. Back off the trail though, it's private property, and in the summer or fall, whatever, you can get away with, doing a little bit of trespassing to just investigate stuff. But in the winter, your trail gives you away that someone's trespassing, and then owners, when they come across it, they get all up in arms and put out a bunch of signs and start patrolling and stuff like that. So you're better off just to stay off their property in the winter when your tracks can give you away. Pretty cool.
Right, so here's a picture of one of my areas, not too far away. If you can find Sasquatch there, you're welcome. Anyway, the backstory to the clips coming up from another encounter with the Sasquatch near where I live, off a quad trail, hiking trail. There's houses around, but I don't do a lot of footing in my own neighborhood because I've had them follow me back to my house and bang on the walls at night and the roof. So here's the backstory clip.
Okay, so I'm just documenting a stick structure. There is a trail, like, I don't know, 30-40 yards behind me. If you see a little walking stick, chrome one up there, that's mine. Just looking for more signs that it wasn't like just kids or something, right? You don't see a lot of kids hiking in here, though. I mean, they might come in with a family, but I mean, the way that's woven together, I mean, look at the backside of that. I mean, it's not that it's high science or anything, but I mean, high skill, but the way that they have, like, one of them going behind and another one going in front to give support to the rest. I mean, if a kid was going to do that, he'd just, like, probably lean them all across each other, but whatever. I mean, cool, because over that way, like down in that area there, the cedars, that's the area where we seen, well, we didn't see it, we seen the aftermath of a little invisible something tearing through the undergrowth, and all you can see is the branches parting. And I've seen that before in the scrub area where I had Sam with me. But I turned my camera on because I thought I heard some little knocks. You know, it could have been just like maybe someone doing some work outside, but kind of cold out. But I definitely heard a big knock from over there, just like 2 seconds before I put the camera on. And so I decided to fire it up. I just walked through that area too, just looking for some, you know, half-assed chance of finding prints where they think nobody's going to be walking around. So, not a lot of cover. And I probably won't hear another one now that they know I'm alerted. Just a quick pan. I'll show you the other side of it here. I was just looking for prints in the areas that were exposed. Something left a nice little indent there, but who knows. Someone could have kicked the rock out, but... And then you know how the bottom of rock where it was sitting in the ground makes it look like a print, but no rocks here, except some bigger ones. So I'll just go up here. And trying to keep this running long enough. Maybe whatever, if it was a wood knock, I'll get another one. Oh. And there's a little, I don't know, practice structure, maybe some juvies, working on that. I mean, it looks like, you know, kids could have just did it, but I mean, kind of intricate at the top. And there's a public trail right over there. The other side of that cedar. Okay, so I'm going to shut down and go towards the wood knock.
Okay, so it's important to note that I didn't get the wood knocks until I found that little structure teepee thing. I've walked down that trail before. I don't usually spend a lot of time in my own neighborhood, and there's an interesting shot of something sitting in front of a tree 50 yards out. Could be a juvie there. But again, walked down the trail, didn't get any wood knocks, was snooping around after first snow, and I think there's one in a tree here too. I circled it coming up. And then the wood knock started, and actually pretty loud, and right beside a trail, and I don't know, 20 minutes back on the trail or 10 minutes back on the trail, there's a house on both sides, and it goes through like a beginning of the end of a subdivision, I guess. But I think there's one right there between the V there. You can see like the head that doesn't kind of fit in with the branches, you know, a round head, and it's bigger than the branches. But now that's, I don't know, that's right on the trail. I'm just trying to recall. That's right on the trail, like literally, like, I don't know, within 20 feet of where I walked by. And I think that's its head there, but I got another shot coming up. So pretty cool, Sasquatch and suburban Sasquatch, but there's even more evidence coming.
Okay, so I'm over an area where I heard like a wood knock come from, but who knows how far the knock could have traveled, or I don't know, I guess there's a chance it could be a cottage owner or something. But anyway, this is the kind of scrub thing that Sam and I were walking by a few years ago, and something like just kind of tore out of it, and the branches all like parted, and I couldn't see anything. I mean, I could see the branches all parting as it ran like deeper into the woods, and it spooked Sam. Sam jumped back, which is good. I mean, could have been like a fisher or bear or something. But again, just pan around while I'm talking here. Again, something was pushing the branches aside that was friggin' invisible. Earlier clip I made talking about when my wife and I were walking down the trail like this one, just further away over there, and something did the same thing right at the side of the trail. It just dashed away from us after we got right on top of it. But it waited until we were right beside it before it made its move. I guess it lost its nerve and then took off, and we were both looked. And again, we could see the branches parting, but we couldn't see what was making the branches part. So pretty cool. I mean, that's what the Sasquatch has been doing all these years. I guess since Patterson filmed his clip in '67. I mean, if you don't catch them completely with the guard down, then they use, I guess, their cloaking or whatever, interdimensional or whatever skills, and I don't try to go into that too much. I mean, it's just enough to try and find and film them, explain that part of it. But yeah, pretty cool experience. It's kind of like a local trail, open to the public. Now this part might be someone's property. But I just, I went down this way before. I just go off trail sometimes, because sometimes you find like prints. You know, they don't expect anyone to be off trail, so they get careless and they leave prints. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to shut down unless I hear a wood knock or something.
Okay, I'm going to run that little clip again, just the end of it. There seems to be something big right at the end of that trail there. Here's the clip.
But I just, I went down this way before. I just go off trail sometimes, because sometimes you find like prints. You know, they don't expect anyone to be off trail, so they get careless and they leave prints. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to shut down unless I hear a wood knock or something.
Right, so at the time, I just thought that was like a really dark, skinny cedar tree, but then when you add some light enhancement, you see the cedar coloring of the tree on the left, and then you see that kind of blackish shape right in the middle of the trail. Actually, I think that's on the side of the trail. Who knows? They hide inside trees. Like, you know, they'll literally like walk into the middle of a tree, bend the branches and hide right beside the trunk and camouflage themselves. But I thought that was pretty interesting since it just kind of stood out. Like, I don't know if that's the one that was tree knocking to me while I was filming the clip, or right after that clip. There's another clip coming. I got another tree knock, and then when I panned around, there was something really tall standing back where I just came from, so it means they're behind me. If I can find that picture, I will post it. But anyway, maybe that's just a big, dark, skinny cedar. I don't know, but interesting.
Okay, I got another wood knock. Right over there somewhere. A lot closer. The thing is about the sound of that one and the other one, more like a thud, you know, like the sound of like if someone were to drop like a heavy log or something on the ground. Didn't have that echoing knock sound to it. I guess it could have even been a stomp. I'm just holding my position here. Might be all I got. They're over in here somewhere.
Okay, so I've got some stills coming of where I think they are. I think there's a big juvie sitting at the base of this tree, and you can tell the difference with it being a juvie in a trunk, because see how it gets fat at the bottom and there seems to be like a elbow kind of right angle to it. That was just across the sumac area there. Now, back at the beginning of the trail, I took a picture, and that's what I do. Sometimes I put the camera, before I had a GoPro, I'll point my video camera one way and I'll take snapshots the other way. And usually the snapshots turn out because the video area, they just, I don't know, they don't like the cameras or something. But anyway, there's a gray juvie right there close to the trail, and I walked right by the guy. And that could have been the one wood knocking, and then when I got too close, he just stopped wood knocking. Now, I don't know how good your eyesight is, but there's a definite face right there, sunken eyes, brow ridge, projected jaw, and I say that his jawline kind of sticks out, kind of like a gorilla, and he's got his lips in kind of a purse kind of position. I knew they were close because wood knocking, and they always go quiet when you get too close, and they just want to bring you closer. So anyway, there's a nice face shot of a real Sasquatch. You can see the detail there. You can see where he's got kind of got lighter gray hair around his face, and look at that. There's something about them that they picking up. Obviously, it's not a green Sasquatch, but I don't know, maybe some kind of transparent trick, translucent trick that they do, and they pick up the color of the camouflage that's around them. And I outlined his head and his jaw and his right eye. And for years we thought they were just, not me, but people just assumed they were just big gorillas running around the woods, and that's all it was. And yeah, sure, they're fast and they're smart, but they're very, very cautious about moving around us. That's why you end up getting pictures, and then, or the lucky tourist or hunter will get a little video clip. But try going out and obtaining that on purpose like Roger did. And if I had to guess, he looks to be about maybe my size. Could be a little bit bigger. He's all hiding down in that scrub and everything. But kind of interesting. They seem to interact with people who are approximately their size. I guess, I don't know, makes them feel comfortable if they're maybe a little bit bigger than you or same size. Right, so we're back to current day, our most recent trip here, and this is a follow-up clip of the exact same area where I filmed that big gray juvie watching me, and I'm just trying to see if I can get lucky and catch him again. They don't give up their sound when you get too close or when they know you're onto them. They will give you a wood knock or something to get your attention, and then usually once they have you where they want you as far as positioning, where they can observe or interact even, then they go quiet. And I mentioned that in subtitle. But with these Sasquatch here, and a kind of trail park up the road just outside the main village, I don't really want to interact too much with them because I've had them follow me right back. And actually, after this video, the winter scene here, I had 4 pounds on the side of my house.
Alright, so there's a trail near my house, a couple trails. The woods extend pretty deep that way. That way there, that's the road that you hear traffic coming from. Excuse me. And I've gotten wood knocks in here and some good pictures. Seen some structures, which actually I should try and find. See if they did anything to them. But as I mentioned before, I don't do a lot of research in my own neighborhood. I've had them come back, follow me back to the house, or the ones behind my house in the field, and the woods behind the field too. They come over and I tap on my windows at night. One time they were banging on our roof. and pounding on the side of the house. So I eased up on that. I mean, yeah, I don't mind it so much, but it creeps out my family, you know. They're not into the footing thing. So, be awesome. Sasquatch in everybody's neighborhood, up here anyway. And we used to think it had to be deep into the woods or in the mountains, in the most remote areas, like Roger's footage and the lesser extent Freeman's footage, to see Sasquatch or Bigfoot in the States. That's not so. I mean, you might get the most aggressive encounters when you catch an isolated group, but those people who just want to do footing and they can't get out to the remote areas, just go into state parks and stuff. That can be kind of dangerous, because a lot of reports of people mysteriously going missing and stuff. Alright, let's wrap this little clip up. Okay, there's one little structure. Little teepee thing going on. Found this before. When I started looking at it, particularly when I started touching it a little bit, that's when I got wood knocks from over there. And I went over there. There's a trail that goes through that woods, maybe back up the main trail a little bit, which is only like 50 yards that way. I went in there and I got more wood knocks and some interesting footage. A compilation of different videos. Put this little mini movie together. Anyway, I was thinking, kids could do this, right? But, I mean, it's kind of intricate how they do the support with that. But you don't see kids in here anymore. Kids don't walk. Kids don't hike. You know, if they have a quad, they'll get into the woods. You know, it's the old schoolers that, you know, that are out hiking and getting outdoor exercise, and gotta yell at the young people to get off the gaming systems. So it used to be all contributed to, oh, just kids. Well, never see kids in the woods. You see women out walking their dogs or whatever, guys out just going for some hikes. Anyway, there's another one somewhere here. And then, I don't know if I'll be able to spot it. It wasn't as tall. It was just an arrangement of weird branches and stuff. But when I was filming this, and I think I'll post a picture, might have been at the one a little bit further up the hill, but there was, looks like I got a picture of a juvie beside a tree. What they do is they lean up against trees. It hides their shape, it hides their color, their hair, especially the gray ones. Their hair blends with all the bark. They're like super hard to see. The black ones are easier to see in the winter. And if there is a light colored one or a white one, they're easier to see in the summer if they're not doing their little cloaking trick. And yeah, they have abilities that we didn't expect they had. And that's all come to the forefront in the last 5 years or so. Since I've been posting, and other people obviously, that they got skills that has kept them hidden for all these years. Everybody kept wondering why we didn't get another Patterson footage. Well, there's little clips of them, but the Patterson footage was rare because it was an isolated incident and the Sasquatch there were aggressive, so they were shooting at them. Probably the road construction guys who were scared brought their guns, or people who own cabins or hunting camps, just shooting into the dark, trying to scare off what was making them all scared.
Okay, so here's a peeker up the hill on my left. I actually attached a little clip of my GoPro. I'm using a GoPro, I just got to get better at using it. You know, you turn your head too much, it screws it up. But there's an adult peeking between two trees and some different enhancements. And you can see his teeth there. You can see his big eye socket, his nose, forehead, part of his hair. But you can see his left canine there. And oh, that's something too. I mean, the Sasquatch got huge canines. The adults are like 2 inches long. And I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so just a quick picture. The next clip is from my GoPro. There's some Sasquatch, particularly the peaker, and an adult 8-footer up to the left on the, I guess, on top of the hill there. Still trying to get used to wearing one of those. If you move your head too much, it screws everything up. But here's the clip. Okay, here's one little structure. Little teepee thing going on. Found this before. When I started looking at it, particularly when I started touching it a little bit, that's when I got wood knocks from over there. And I went over there. There's a trail that goes through that woods. Maybe back up the main trail a little bit, which is only like 50 yards that way. I went in there and I got more wood knocks and some interesting footage. There's a compilation of different videos. Put this little mini movie together. Anyway, I was thinking, well, kids could do this, right? But I mean, it's kind of intricate of how they do the support with that. But you don't see kids in here anymore. Kids don't walk. Kids don't hike. You know, if they have a quad, they'll get into the woods. You know, it's the old schoolers that, you know, that are out hiking and getting outdoor exercise, and you know, yell at the young people to get off the gaming systems. So it used to be all contributed to, oh, just kids. Well, you never see kids in the woods. You see women out walking their dogs or whatever, guys out going for some hikes. Anyway, there's another one somewhere here. And then right, so I'm not sure if you've seen anything. That GoPro camera was angled down and might have moved it around too fast. But anyway, there's a Sasquatch, actually more than one, but there's an adult standing up between the trees up there, if you see that yellow circle. Now keep in mind that this trail, maybe you can see him there right above my name, this trail, you have to get to it, I had to cut through the woods, so I have a little privacy. People don't know, you know, someone on the trail. But one part of the trail, you have to pass through two houses to access it or leave it. Anyway, so there's an 8-footer, a class 1, up there in the trees, and there's a negative of it. I flipped it to do a negative so you could tell that it's definitely not a tree. He's got the forward sloping angle, and I'll get more into his head in a minute here. So anyway, he's got a buddy there right beside him, but the bigger one caught behind the small, I don't know, 6-inch diameter tree. Again, I flipped it just so the angle, and I think there's one on the right which is coming up here, juvie. This is what, maybe 50-60 yards up the hill, 50 yards up that hill. You see the juvie doing a peek. You can actually see the left side of his body and his leg. And I get the juvies a lot because they take the most chances following me around or whatever. But again, this is close to, I guess, a little mini subdivision of a small village in northeastern Ontario. And there's a class 1 Sasquatch just like Patty, and I outlined it there, both of them actually, and sloping forward, got those big long arms, and particularly the square shaped head that's kind of like sits forward on their torso. It kind of looks like they have no neck because they got a big muscled shoulders and their very thickly muscled neck. But again, what I did was, I think I put that clip in there. I put, I hiked through the trees on purpose to break some of the brittle branches, and it got their attention. And then I made my way to the teepee structure, and what I do is, and there's a negative of it with the head, kind of square-shaped head outline. What I do is I put my camera facing one way, and I turn and I take pictures the other way, even when I got a GoPro on, because, you know, when you're in the middle of the woods with these creatures or any kind of beings or animals around, you got to be aware, so you got to look around a lot, right? You get staring straight forward ahead or whatever, and then, you know, even a bear will sneak up on you if they get the opportunity, and Sasquatch are opportunists. But anyway, let's just talk about that head and the posture. You notice it's very similar to Paddy. He's got that slouch torso. They can't stand quite upright, so there's the bent knees there. And with Paddy, you see the heavily muscled shoulder going on to their, I don't know, kind of square-shaped, for lack of a better term, gorilla kind of head. And same with this guy on the top of the hill. Look at it. I mean, it's kind of blurry because I zoomed in on it, but he's got that square-shaped head, that forward-facing head on his chest, a heavily muscled shoulder that kind of blends, or heavily muscled neck that blends in with the shoulder, just like Paddy. Paddy's got like your typical round ears, got the brow ridge, sagittal crest. Now that's and a quick snapshot there. That's a size thing, as Dr. Krantz said. But anyway, you got the shape of the shoulder, slouching shoulder, heavily muscled neck going into like, I don't know, like a square-shaped head that, as I said, sits forward, just like this guy. And you can see his face, his nostrils there, kind of flared. He's looking down, and they do that. They freeze like that, intentionally freeze like that, so they get confused with trees. So that's pretty awesome. The other thing I want to mention, you can kind of tell he's got forward-facing nostrils and backward-sloping forehead. So just like Paddy. And again, this is just the side of a subdivision area where you can hook up through old train tracks that lead to a trail and then to a subdivision in a small village in northeastern Ontario. Right, so in closing, over 5 years of posting on YouTube, maybe 20 years in the field off and on, took a break and got back from out west, but I guess the biggest change that I've seen is that, other than people posting real evidence, is that there's more people exploiting the topic, exploiting the Sasquatch to become popular and try to get up on stage or to try to sell their swag. And I'm not talking about people who write books about it, who do a lot of research, but I mean, you can always tell the difference between a real field researcher, experienced guy like myself, and the guys who talk like they're experienced and they criticize everybody. Just say, hey, really cool and interesting comment. Where's your evidence? I mean, you're a Bigfoot researcher, right? Don't you have at least a picture? Or are you just an entertainer posing as a researcher and trying to become popular or to sell your swag? But anyway, those guys are easy to pick out if you really want to know who's the real deal. Thanks for watching and all your support. See you in the field.